Hello, if you're looking for some recommendations and some things to obsess over, let me share with you my top 8 obsessions of the last month. So, number one, no title slide, just me holding a post-it with the number one. So, number one is Strangers by Belle Burden, which is a memoir, and more or less the premise of this memoir is a successful lawyer with generational wealth and overall white privilege uh, is blindsided by her husband just as the world is shutting down at the start of the COVID pandemic. The premise enough is like salacious. It's like, why did her husband leave her? Like, why then of all times? And the book goes into it. Um, but some of the big themes that I think are very juicy and, obsession worthy is, you know, when it comes to things like cults or like very famous people or celebrities and like things that happen to like us everyday people that happen to them, you're always like, well, why? Like, how did that happen? We want to know. We want the juice. We want to squeeze the juice. And this is kind of a really great exploration of that, right? So it's like this woman has all the money in the world. It seems like her world is perfect. She's got a wonderful cookie cutter family, everything's great, but it's not. And if you read the book, you'll find out. Also, I was so obsessed with this that I wrote a Substack piece on it. So I'll drop the link in the thing if you want to check that out. Um, Also, it's going to be made into a movie with Gwyneth Paltrow as Belle Burden. Gwyneth Paltrow will now also be burdening Belle's burdens with us. So, highly recommend. You might become obsessed with the lore of it all too, just like the backstory too. All right, number two, another book, but this one is fiction. It's called Lost, Lost Lambs by Madeline Cash. And let me tell you, I tend to love books that are centered around like a family unit and not just like a cohesive family unit, but like a disjointed, chaotic family unit. Not to mention, this book had like some conspiracy theories, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is made into like a movie. Like, it's very, sorry, I'm on my tippy toes. um, it's very much cinematic, and you can't really place where it is. Like, you want to say it's like coastal US, one of the coast, but also the writing is kind of not there with the like US accent and like colloquialisms and lingo. So I guess I could do more research on the author, but whatevs. Also, this like it's kind of sexy. It's kind of like what are they gonna do next? And also there's like some it's just funky. Like you gotta read it. Like this is a debut novel that you read and you're like, wow, what a debut, right? And I feel like I've seen a lot of like bookstagrammers and booktubers like high praising this. And listen, I don't think it was like the most game-changing book I've ever read, but I've been thinking about it. And if you think about it for more than a minute after you're done with it and you're still kind of obsessing over it for like the last couple weeks, like me, obsession worthy. So, and I got it from Book of the Month. I had like a free thing. If you want to let me know, or if you want to know how you can get like $5 off or something off your first box, let me know. I don't have a code, but I can probably help you out with this. So let me know. But yes, if this is made into a movie, you heard it here first. So, okay. Number three is Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. And this has been like on my shelf waiting for me to read it and just finally like take a bite into it. And I'm glad I finally did because this book really blends like the creative process and like what it feels like to be a creator and a writer and like that imposter syndrome that you might have like voicing any critique or maybe even just putting yourself out there or your writing or your talents out there. um, Also, it's very much like a 9/11 book. And I say that because one of the big events in here is, 9/11. So that's a trigger for you. Don't read it. But the core of this is music, like songwriting and what that looks like in friendship and romance and tying it all together. This book really made me like nostalgic for the times where, like, well, I guess not the times, but like the decade of my youth where I was like, I'm gonna write for Rolling Stone magazine. And while I'm not quite there yet, I'm speaking into existence now that I will be published in Rolling Stone magazine sooner rather than later. But for now, my writing is on Substack and my writing is in books, and well, one book to be exact. I wrote a book. Um, so yeah, this is a great book, and it's going to be made into a movie. I cannot remember for the life of me who is going to be the main star of the movie. Uh, but free tip for people who are making this movie. If you don't start like each little scene after like a time jump or a, different parts of the life or the story with a like a record spinning and it goes tick, tick, like that like little tap sound when the little pin hits the vinyl. Free. You can have that one for free, but you can credit me if you want. Um, Also, number four came as a result of this. So number four is actually a song. So number four is Sarah Smile by Daryl Hall and John Oates. And I had never heard this song before, but I am a big fan of Daryl Hall and Oates, which I endearingly call Hall and Oates, but apparently they're feuding. They do not get along, and they're fuming over a legal thing that just settled. Um, Fun fact if you didn't know that. So Hall and Oates, not so mesh. But anyways, long story long. Sarah Smile, if you haven't heard it by Daryl Hall and John Oates, listen to it wherever. It's just very much like a, like a ooh, like a calm, fun song to listen to. Sarah, smile. That's a chop. But okay, moving forward. Number five, numero cinco, is Industry. I'll put a little picture. It's a show on HBO, and it's very much like sex, drugs, rock and roll. Okay, maybe not so much rock and roll, but it is set in the financy world. Think banking or trading, or honestly, it's very much over me what they do for a career. All I know is that there's a lot of money, there's a lot of power grabs involved, and I binged like two out of the four seasons that are available like very rapidly, and I just can't get enough. It's too unhinged. Also, Yasmin Karahanani has motivated me in my journey of continuing to learn languages and speak fluent Italian and Spanish at least. So, love that for me. But you need to watch the show. It is, but maybe you don't watch it with your parents. Like, it's not PG-13, it's rated R. Moving forward, number six, and this is the last book on this list, but not really the book, the movie and the book. Twofer. So this is Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary. More specifically, the movie adaptation was spectacular. Like, as somebody who reads a lot of books and by association books that are made into movies, I'm always like freaked out. I'm like, oh, is it gonna be as good or is it gonna be better? Like, better is best case scenario, I think, in a lot of book to movie or film or TV adaptations. Like you always hope they're going to be either like at the same level or better. And this was at and better. So I highly recommend. I also wrote like a big think piece about like the differences and like what I enjoyed about both the book and the movie in my Substack. So if you don't subscribe to that, check that out too. I'm shamelessly plugging my writing because I want to get paid for writing and I want to be a famous writer who possibly makes book to screen adaptations come to life. Life. All right. So, number seven, and I'll put a graphic here. So, number seven is the movie Anniversary. And to be honest, like this movie wasn't really on my radar, but I saw that it was like on that top list on Disney Plus or Hulu, whichever one of those. So more or less, it's kind of a social commentary, like dystopian political thriller. That was a little too much like our current political climate here in the US. Like there's a manuscript, document, book, whatever you want to call it, Project 2025 equivalent in this movie. And Phoebe Dynevor, I believe that's her name, she played Daphne in Bridgerton. She is kind of the villain, and she played a good villain, like an unassuming villain. And Dylan O'Brien is very much like incel culture, like strong family full of women, and he's kind of like the boy who like they kind of bully and gang up on. Anyways, long story long, it this movie like goes there. It's like 180 from like, liberal kind of world and like, you know, more ideal situation. And then it goes to like all hell breaks loose. It's kind of like Gilead in The Handmaid's Tale. It's very much like a family drama. There's censorship, there's corporations and politics. Like it gets kind of choppy. Obsessed with this movie. Like I couldn't stop telling all my friends about it, and they're like, "Oh, I never heard of that movie." I'm like, "Dylan O'Brien," and they're like, "Oh, Dylan O'Brien, I'm in." So, and maybe they weren't so in on the like very close to like Gilead, how Gilead started in The Handmaid's Tale, and like this Trumpy universe we're living in, which my shoulder clicked. Okay, and number 8 is an album, and I'll put this here, like the cover here, but it's This May Contain Hope by RAYE and Chef's Kiss. It's a masterpiece, but honestly, like my favorite song, I think my favorite right now is Click Clack Symphony, and it's the one where in the video they're like, send the coal out, click clacking and I don't want to get, copyrighted here, so I meshed the lyrics. Not really. I just don't know lyrics very well. Um, so this album is incredible. It's one of those pieces that's just like start to finish, no skips. It goes there. It's not like anything cookie cutter and boring. It's very much exciting. And I listened to it and I was like, oh, this is so good. I want to buy the vinyl. Because I've gotten in the habit of if there's like a start to finish album, like I will buy the vinyl. So just in case the internet disappears, you know, I want to have like a physical piece of media. And I couldn't find one for this. So they're sold out and on back order. So what are you gonna do? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my top 8 obsessions of this last month, and I hope they become one of your obsessions. And if they do, or if you've maybe seen them, then please let me know what you think in the comments. If you like this kind of video, you can subscribe or give me like a thumbs up or one of these little hearts. Um, yeah, hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are, or evening, or midnight. I don't know if you're watching this YouTube in the depths of the darkness, or if you're somewhere in the north and there's a midnight sun, like Zara Larson sings about. So, anyways, ciao.